Hey, buddy, I just got back from AkiCon and boy are my arms tired!
Really? Really?
It was funnier in my head.
Anyway, a little bit of a hiatus, yes, because of, this dude right here damn near taking over AkiCon, for crying out loud.
I wouldn't go that far. I wouldn't go that... Hey, dude, some of those people might be watching right now going, taking over Aki. No, but I did take over a panel. That was undeniable. I stole that panel. But, of course, the dude let me. So, the guy who originally created it.
Yeah, it wasn't a hostile takeover.
Exactly. It was
a mutually beneficial takeover.
A partnership, if you will. So, yeah. There was AkiCon for me, but also, weren't you just tired, though?
Yeah.
You just need a little rest.
Yeah, that's very true. Work was whooping my ass.
And hey, it happens. But you know what? Work, then play. Work hard, play hard. Speaking of which...
Work hard, play harder.
Speaking of which, y'all ought to know what's going down from that great preview. By the way, nice. This fool's been getting better and better throughout this entire season. I'm working over these previews. It's fucking awesome. I still think Haze, though, is one of the best. Just because,
Go ahead.
Boosh!
Go ahead. Boosh.
It's good. No, but as you know from the preview, we're here for one thing and one thing only. Although we're probably going to do 5 other things.
Zarby Dragon.
Dragon Age Origins. When this game first came out, it wasn't like a dark horse for me, but I certainly hadn't heard that much about it, but it looked really cool. Then we got into it, and well, you're about to see it in the review.
Hey, when I first heard about this, it wasn't necessarily a dark horse. This was one that people were talking about. Me being a more focused gamer.
True. He does go to like Shoryuken and like Fighting Generation. He does the online trade reviews and stuff. And
yeah,
I don't do that shit. I just go off the fly.
But there were so many more people actually talking about this. This game blew up, and at the time this came out, I was still rather broke.
But if I may, and I hope I'm
dismally broke.
I hope I'm not jumping the gun or even giving away too much. Although our brass tacks you can usually see it sometimes coming. You can see it coming from a mile away sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
From me, you can definitely see it coming from a mile away. This lived up to the hype. This, for once, was a hype monster that lived up to the goddamn hype. And at the same time, now, let's just bring it up right now. Some of y'all already know that the sequel was laden with quite a few bad decisions, mistakes, issues, horribleness on horribleness, hamburger helper on hamburger helper. But for the most part, it was bad. It was hella bad. It was as bad as this is good. I don't even know why I brought that up, but I know there was some reason. But suffice to say, just get it out the way.
Probably considering the fact that it's already been announced and is currently in development, Dragon Age Inquisition.
Now that I am only slightly hopeful for. It sounds like they're doing what we've always wanted them to do, to open up the world, to give us our free, give us more. Tecmo Koei that shit.
And,
basically... And apologize to us for 2.
Yeah, basically, it seems more like it's going to be a return to what was established with DAO.
Which is good! It's great! Why did they fuck with it? It wasn't broken. They should have added on to it. They should have given us more advanced jobs. They should have given us more friends to fuck with. Literally. They should have given us actually naked people. Because goddamn, doesn't this thing have a mature rating? Or an R, or NC-17?
Oh no, this thing's mature.
Okay, good, it's mature. Why are they having sex with the... You'll see what we mean. You'll see what we mean. But suffice it to say, this game, shit. It's gritty, it's dark, it's a crapsack world. It's great.
So with all that said, let's go pick a fight. Dragon Age Origins, ladies and gentlemen. The hooligans are back.
We own it. Funny story, if I may start off with this. So, I get over here to Ace's, and I'm like, we were talking, like he holds open the door, he's like, get your stupid ass in here, and I'm all like, I get in, but then I go, hey, you want to go to 7-Eleven? I'm thirsty as a motherfucker. The kind of looks at me and goes, yeah. So we go to 7-Eleven, have a good time. I get some grub. I get some road food. I get me a big double gulp. Got that Sprizzle mixed with the orange Gatorade in it, which was a good combo, by the way, and I highly suggest it for anyone. Hey, if you're gonna go to 7-Eleven, you can kamikaze that shit. That's how I believe. And I mean everything, even the Slurpees. Get it all in that cup. So anyway, we get back here. We're talking. He shows me a couple of trailers. It was for X-Men Future Days.
Yeah, X-Men Days of Future Past.
And the Winter Soldier, fucking Captain America. And they both look cool. So we're eating, getting our drink on. And I'm like, you know what, let's just do this. Let's bring the laptop into your room. Let's get the game started. Let's do this. And then he looks at me with his big camel eyes, the camel brown, like you ever seen a camel and you're just like, oh, it's so romantic and adorable. He looks at me with his Jewel of the Nile eyes and says, where's the game, bro? So I start flapping my arms. I kind of start waving them around as I realize, oh yeah, I have the game. And funny story, Ace used to own this game, so I got confused thinking this was his game, that he had it here. And so when he said that, I'm just like brain locked. So I just start kind of waving my arms, flapping my arms, and kind of just, rubbing my knuckles against my knees, just kind of doing one of these motions. And Ace, finally, after like a minute of just watching me do this, and he realizes, I think it's a weird empathy thing, like our minds are connected, like in a Vulcan mind meld. He knew I forgot the game. I knew that he knew I forgot the game. But I was just waiting for him to say something. Finally, he goes, if you got time, you want to go get it? I'm like, dude, I'm on it. Don't worry. I was just waiting for you to say that. Oh.
Jewel of the Nile?
You heard me, nigga.
Really?
So, Dragon Age... Y'all, I wish y'all could have seen his face when I brought it down. He was already looking kind of like, where are you going with this? When I brought up the camel, the camel eyes, camel brown eyes. Better than giraffe. Oh, God, that bandwagon today. Perk up. We're going to play some Dragon Age Origins. So.
It's a good reason to perk up.
Nitty, gritty, motherfucking dark crapsack world. Look at the screen right here. Look at that shit. That shit is not promising you good times. It's not. And you know what? Everything about this game is pretty much you suck. You suck, your world sucks, and you're going to have a great time beating shit up. This game gives you really good storyline reasons to get mad, to get pumped, to get pissed off, and even to be frightened. I am a grown-ass man. I am rarely frightened at anything that isn't, a psyker demon coming on at me in real life. You know what I mean?
Or a beholder.
Yeah. In real life, I've gone through some shit, and there's very few that really frightens me. There is a moment in this game, and we will spoil it later on. It frightens the fuck out of me because it is presented so beautifully. Before I even jump into anything, Ace, let's show him that character creator.
Now, the thing about Dragon Age Origins, well, it's the crux of this game is in the title itself.
Yes.
The Origins. This is basically where you are able to create a character to start this game, and you really get invested in it.
Well, that's because they give you, what? If I may jump in, we've talked about it here quite a lot. The illusion and the reality of choices in a game. This game, maybe later on it's not that important, but in the middle part. But in the beginning, that is going to show you what your ending is going to be. Really. Seriously. All the way. And it does. Even if it's minor in the end, which moves on, by the way, to the DLC. Oh. This is the start. You are about to learn why shit sucks in this world.
You have brought sin to heaven and doom upon all the world. Ladies and gentlemen.
That's this world. That is this world.
The teaches us that it is the hubris of men which brought the Darkspawn into our world.
Right there, Darkspawn.
The mages had sought to usurp heaven.
Which actually brings me to one thing that I really enjoyed about this game.
The variety of monsters?
Well, not just the variety of monsters.
They were cast out, twisted and cursed by their own corruption.
Just
they returned as monsters.
Oh my God. Okay,
laden.
So honestly, I understand if you turn the YouTube off right now and go play this game. In fact, let's jump the gun and just suggest they buy this fucking game. You can certainly get it for $20 to $30 with all the goods, all the DLC like I did. I think it was like $20 for my copy, and as you guys just saw, it came with everything. Look at this. Look at it.
Yep. Dragon Age Origins Ultimate Edition. Again, we'll just go ahead and say,
Just buy it.
Buy it. If you want a dark, gritty fantasy RPG, you're gonna dig this.
Oh, this is so grim dark. It's so beautiful. Look at all this badassery. Look at all this badassery. Jesus Christ. You know what? I'm not afraid to say that, yeah, these guys are kind of nightmare fodder. And even more so, and this is just so badass. What was that? 5 Grey Wardens versus an army? Yeah, that makes sense. You know what? Okay, first and foremost, in a nutshell, Grey Wardens are basically Royal Mounted Canadian Police. Seriously, they're the Mounties. One fucking Mountie, one army. You know what I mean? One riot, one Mountie on a flying moose. You know what? We need to structure this just slightly bit more. So let's start with this. You were mentioning the origins. Not only do you have several different types of player characters you can do as far as warrior, ranger, or magician
character classes.
Yes, but also like 4 races? There's the dwarves, there's the elves.
There's dwarves, elves.
But not just elves, but there's city elves or forest elves. Dalish, yeah, the forest elves. But also humans, either royal or and actually I think they all have variants. Because you got Duncan! Look at that ponytail. He is Sean Connery of this world.
Oh, a little bit of trivia for you, and something I was looking up as Duncan being a badass, but something I looked up, just to try and refresh myself as far as,
Wait! Let him see this. Get the fuck out of here!
But yeah, just as far as information for this review. Tim Curry did
help us all.
Yeah, wasn't he? I think he was in the DLC though.
No.
No? Which character?
Arl Howe.
Oh my god, that makes sense now! Oh, here we go with the character creator.
Now, boom.
Now, you all know, we do play us some fighting games, some role-playing games here, and there is nothing better to me than a robust character creator screen. Even for, wrestling, it's pretty cool when you can fucking bust it out like that. Dragon's Dogma had a good one. Of course, the Elder Scrolls Fallout have better ones. Dark Souls and Demon Souls has a surprisingly powerful character creator.
Yeah.
And from what I remember, same thing here.
Actually, another game that had a surprisingly deep character creator. Freaking Dynasty Warriors 7 Empire.
True, but they didn't give you 20 different ways of doing your character though. 20 different races, 5 different races.
Well, of course, a lot of these are only dealing with
humans.
Yeah,
but
even with something as limited as just humans,
yeah,
you gotta admit,
7 had
7E. Oh, yeah, good lord!
Yeah. But
that was nutty.
But we're not here for those games. We're here for this.
We're here for Dragon Age.
So right off the bat, choose your gender. Now, one thing y'all know, I'm gonna bring up the controversies and shit. Go male. No, I'm the motherfucker gonna bring up the controversies. Yeah, not only the major controversy of this game wasn't just they're having sex, but that you can be homosexual. People were losing their fucking mind that you can be gay in this game. Really. Unlike, say, in Dragon Age 2, where you're forced to be gay. Seriously, I accidentally the elf for the pirate chick.
Wow.
But the thing about it that I like about it in this game, and some people may disagree, by all means, disagree all you want. Your opinions suck. What was it? I was actually over at Sofa King News talking about this shit. My opinions!
Wow.
So suffice it to say, I actually really like the way it was presented in this game, where your gender really doesn't matter. You're gonna be a badass. You know I like that shit. Freedom and justice for all to kick ass as much as you want.
Or we burn this
motherfucker down. Usually I talk about that about equality, and you are right. Yeah, we can. Yeah. And even more so, while you can go homosexual, you can also go heterosexual. In fact, spoiler, you can have a menage a trois in this game. Period. You can sleep with fucking transgender. I mean, this game really, This is like that Final Fantasy Final Fantasy X effect. A world of horrors. We are talking about a world that is dying. And same thing like in Final Fantasy X with Sin. This is a world that is dying. I don't think anyone's going to give a fuck about what you or your tiny little fucking sexual issues are going to be. You know what? If I'm going to die tomorrow, I'm getting my fuck on today. That's what this is. So now that I've walked all about gender, choose a race.
Yeah.
So, first off, you get your gender. You get your race. And that will, of course, it changes with your gender, you know? And it's kind of nice to actually see that that's going on. Now, some people would say, well, why do they have the same stats? Why doesn't the females have more speed but less strength? Because fuck you fucking fuck, that's why.
Or, you know, for something a little less confrontational, because of the simple fact that
everybody's a badass?
Yeah, that number one, everybody's a badass, but really, the character creator in this is there so that you can literally make any character you want within the constraints of this system.
And that's saying something.
And it's mind-boggling.
So yeah, there's poor human, royal human, poor dwarf, literally one of the throwaways, the castaways. Royal dwarf, which actually, royal dwarf, you know, I was mentioning I only ever play, earlier before the game, I mentioned I only ever play city elf. But that's not true. I did try the royal dwarf opening once. And considering that I've played the game through, and, you know, I've played the game multiple times, and I know the story arc with the dwarf underground and the royals, it was really interesting to be in the middle of that. And it gave you a completely different perspective of the drama that went down amongst the royals during the game.
Yeah.
Which is another great thing about the origins of this game. Not only are you going to literally create your storyline based on the origin you choose, but it also gives you different starting points, different awareness of what's going on in the background that you might not know from the other origin stories.
And it's from that alone that even though, like, the large middle portion of the game, you know, from after your origin up to your ending.
Yeah.
Basically, although that may be the same for each and every playthrough you go through, it's that perspective that you get with each origin that just completely just turns the playing field on its head almost every single playthrough.
We mentioned the illusion of choice, as we always do invariably with games like this. And this game, I believe, gives you the reality of choice, because you build the ending. So much so that even in the DLC, they still respect you for the shit you did in previous things. I mean, hell, one of them revolves around the things that you did here. So that's something to consider. So anyway, let's continue on with this. So what are you choosing? You got your class for what?
I was gonna go with a rogue for this one.
Cool.
And
I always went like dual wielding city elf.
Yeah, and there are some origins where, you know, you're locked to one specific background. Like, again, if you're going
all of them are though.
You know, if you're going human rogue, then you're a noble.
Oh, that I see what you mean. Yeah.
But let's say if you go human mage or any race mage really, then, you know, you've got the magi background. Whereas with...
Oh, sorry.
Okay, I think, yeah, it looks like both rogue and warrior, you know, you get the human noble.
Oh, human, I see. I for some reason I thought you were on dwarf. Well, suffice to say, you are... Now, here's where the illusion of choice comes into play. You are locked to certain backgrounds, depending on what you choose by race and class. But honestly, you can do any of these combinations and get the full fucking story. Yeah. Hell, you can just play normal, like, well, for me, normal is city elf.
There you go. You know, as you were mentioning earlier, dwarf commoner and dwarf noble.
Yeah, but that's because they do have these prepackaged origins, but it's like they have so many. They have combinations that you can work all of these and play a different game in a different way.
Yeah, like I said earlier. Oh god, I forgot what I said earlier that I was going to allude to.
Well, if I may just jump in. Now, first and foremost, you mentioned Magi, and it really stands to throw it out there. Now, you saw some of the intro, despite we were talking over it. You saw some of the intro, right? Yeah, you. Stop going me. You.
Yeah.
So, highness. Most fucking heinous fucking levels. pretty much, if you're a magic user, your shit is going... You suck. Your life sucks.
Your life sucks.
And if you're a blood magic
time.
user, you are dead. The Chantry, which is their religion in this world, revolves around the suppression and control of magic users. And it gets even worse in places like the Kun, you know, or whatever the fuck that place is, where they're from. The Kunari.
Mm-hmm.
The Kunari, they don't just control your shit. You are, like, brainwashed. You're, like, bound and gagged, and you live as their dog. It gets bad. I mean, you think shit under the Chantry is bad. No, go be a Kunarian, or Kunari. That shit sucks. Now, Dragon Age 2 bullshit. We all know, in this game, the Kunari did not have horns. You can't say otherwise. You can't say, oh, only that type didn't, only the type like Sten, only Sten, which that's not even his real name, which is true. That's not his name. That's his station. In fact, I know they have names, but it's like they only share it to their most loved ones and the Emperor or whatever. But they're called the Kun, and the Kunari is like it means something, and so does Sten. But only the Sten types don't have horns. Fuck you and the fucking hypocrite horse you rode in on. Go suck Hamburger Helper's cock and get off our fucking channel. There goes 1/3 of our audience. I was one of those people where, yeah, and you know, I didn't tell her that she needs to die and her kids need to die, but I did suggest that, much like R.A. Salvatore, she should never be allowed to write again. There's a reason why her book didn't sell for shit. She cannot write a fucking storyline, but because her husband is... I hate nepotism to a point. And this is one of those things I really hate. Somebody ineffective and incompetent gaining access to a fucking IP because somebody they're sucking off is in there too. So suffice to say, the Kunari are pretty badass in this one. Ace is all cowed into quietness, like, okay, just let him But look at this character creator screen. Seriously, I like the sliders. I mean, you can actually really do get quite a bit of control in this game. I also like the fact that you can control the voice. It's a little thing, but knowing that my character is going to sound as violent as I can make him really makes me happy. So, while we're at this character creation scene, let's continue on with the storyline a little bit. First and foremost, there's not much we can really say about the storyline because it's so fucking huge, and we would need a whole other fucking show to cover it.
Yeah, not like going into, you know, part 2 or part 3 or what have you. We
a
would
whole
need...
other show.
Yeah.
You know what? Some people dislike the storyline. Some people think dogs can't look up. They are also wrong. The storyline in this is awesome. It is so well put together. Now, you can say that it's rather loose because you can do just about any mission. At a certain point, you can go anywhere in the world that's been revealed. And hell, thanks to the DLC, you can even go back to a certain very important battle. And then that one. Yeah. Ace's eyes just lit up. His jewels of the Nile. Suffice it to say, you know, the storyline revolves around one of your origin starters, which let's, just out of selfish bias, let's just say it's the City Elf. So the City Elf, you go through the thing, whether you're the female and you nearly get raped, or you're the male and you turn into Braveheart to go save your woman from being raped. Either way, you are put in a position where Duncan, who is visiting at the time, you're basically you've got to be killed. We are talking about some old school black American slavery bullshit going on with the City Elves. So basically, you're about to die when Duncan steps up and says, hey, I have papers here saying as a Grey Warden, and remember that name. Only the most choice, succulent, juiciest cuts of steak become the Grey Wardens. These guys are the base. I'm looking at you, am I right? These guys are the badass of the badass. There is no other word for them than badass. There is no bad guys. There are no anti-heroes. There are no bullshit betrayal ass-pulls amongst the Grey Wardens. They will kill what they are supposed to kill. They are awesome! Seriously. It's a bitch to become one, though, as you learn shortly.
Yeah.
Duncan takes you to the point where, at the Battle of something or other, there's a particular battle that's like the next segment after your origin, and all the origins lead up to there. You basically go through the initiation rite to become a Grey Warden, which, spoiler alert, which we warned you earlier, requires you to drink a chalice full of darkspawn blood. It'll either kill you, or you will gain all sorts of powers. such as being able to sense darkspawn, being able to hear the voice of the dragon, the demon god itself, which happens multiple times in dreams. There's also certain other things, but basically it turns you into more human than human, more badass than badass, more than meets the eye, all because you drank it and survived. Now, there's also a time limit. You are going to die. Eventually, when you die, you will turn into a darkspawn, maybe even something stronger. And eventually, you're going to want to, you'll take a trip. You'll either die in combat, or you'll take a trip to the deep roads at the forefronts where the dwarves and deep under the ground are fighting the darkspawn on a constant basis. And you'll go join them and hopefully die in combat as well. This game offers you... Now, here's the thing, though. I also believe that it was discussed that there were alternatives. That there was a way to survive and keep living as a Grey Warden without succumbing. I could have sworn it was in one of the DLC. If not, maybe it's just me really wishing there was, because there's... you know what? This game... If a game can endear you to your character... That is a wonderful... Yeah, your eyes are lighting up. We have talked about this many times, and we might as well share it with you now. Me and Asa, you know how we have our ideas for sequels and shit, and we have always believed it would be so fucking awesome if they gave us a game where you can play as the Grey Warden. You know, like literally, you start the game off... It's kind of like Suikoden 1, or Suikoden 2, where you can rehire the characters from Suikoden 1, Toby and what's-his-face? Gremio?
Yeah.
Yeah. I know some people are going like, holy shit, I remember that game. Yeah. It would be so badass if you could... I mean, I would... Okay, I'm jumping ahead of myself. Wait a minute. I can't help it, though. This game is so good. So, the storyline is excellent. It is fucking excellent. From there, from the betrayal of Arhau... Did I mention spoiler? From the betrayal of Arhau to the survival of the Grey Wardens with you and your... And Brocephalus... What's his name? Alistair.
Yeah.
Fucking Alistair. And you come across the hottest... Oh my god, the hottest, most headstrong, most strong, most stubborn, most... God, I bet she fucks so wonderfully. Morrigan. Do you know who my first love was in this game? And then later on, I hardened Leliana, and then we had the Menage a Trois with... Menage a Quattro. Now, that was it. Because it was her, Zevram, the pirate chicken dog, and you. And I did that shit because I wanted that shit. But then plus, I was playing I'm jumping again. Leliana's song. So anyway... So we go from there, and then from that point, when you reach the first town finally... Oh, and you've got dog! You've got dog! Apples! Did you name your dog Apples?
No.
I always name my Barkspawn, which, by the way, I'll go into that later. That's a DLC thing again. Oh, here we go, the point spread. Y'all know how this goes.
And, again, this is another way that Dragon Age Origins actually has you build... the character you want.
The character build. The way it should be. You get to choose where your points go when you level up, what kind of magic spells or abilities you want. You will have to meet certain criteria to reach certain abilities and spells. It's awesome. And I look at this shit. But also skills. Passive skills as well. Which I'm big on passive skills. You know that. If I can make passive skills stack so that each time I swing I'm going to kill a motherfucker, I'm on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, but we are playing a roguish type, so up the dexterity. Now, strength is more than just attack. It's also what kind of armors can you wear. This game, unlike Dragon Age 2, this game was so in-depth about what pieces of armor you can wear based on your skills and your skill points, excuse me. And it was excellent. It was awesome. And you can mix and match, although if you wore whole sets, of course you get bonus points for that. Which is great. Oh, as a rogue, you should always get the lockpick, bro. So, honestly, I can't really harp too much more about the storyline. From then on, you can go to just about any place, do anything, and follow up on multiple arcs. Namely, the Deep Roads area with the dwarves, the Chantry itself, and a particularly sticky situation with some dream demons.
Oh,
the
geez.
Fade. Oh, that's the other thing we didn't mention, the Fade. The reason why magic users are so frightening in this one is because blood magic users, even more so,
where is it?
they're able to go through the Fade, which is this interdimensional thing, like a land of dreams, so to speak, or a magical world that resides next to the physical realm, where demons are waiting to take over their bodies. The more you use blood magic, the more susceptible you are to their taking you over. And just being a mage makes you susceptible to demon possession. outside of the Chantry, there's also one area where, yeah, there's a demon possession going on, and the whole castle and town is being tiger fucked. Not even fucked. Not even double fucked. Not even double U fucked. Tiger fucked, yo. It gets bad. Oh my god, it gets so bad. And now you will find yourself defeating one area, being told that you have to go to another area to go do something over there, so you do it, and then you can go back to that area and get to the second part. Like that town. You defeat the waves of Darkspawn, or of zombies? No, Darkspawn, actual Darkspawn, that rush your shit. No, it was dead people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you defeat waves of these motherfuckers after recruiting townspeople and bolstering their spirits, which was a fun minigame.
Which one was it again?
Lock picking. It should be that one that you have down there right there, actually. Unless I'm wrong.
This is all poison making, combat training.
Oh. Because I could have sworn you always want
tactics. Survival, trap making.
I think it was your
stealing.
Just do whatever you want. I mean, if you already got 2 things of combat mastery or whatever, I would go for the 3rd.
What the heck?
Because you know what? Being a badass is dirty fighting.
Here we go. This is probably what you were talking about then, the talents.
Oh, yes. My bad. But yeah, I like the fact you can stun a motherfucker, kick him in the nuts. Now, the way you can build your character up, as you can see already, as a rogue, dual wielding, dirty fighting, and long range. Now, me, like I said, I was dual weapons. And that's the other thing we could have even mentioned. Once you choose your class and your background and your origins, you can, from then on, build your character however you wish. A mix and match type, a pure type. It's awesome. And like I said, with me, I was all about the combat, or the warrior, and the dual weapons. As a dual weapon fighter in this game, I can tell you this right now, you are a bloody tornado of destruction. You better hope you got Alistair in hard plate, or Sten in heavy plate backing you up, because you're going to catch some serious fucking aggro. Yeah. You get fucking dirty in this game. And as a rogue, supposedly you're even faster. So there's that. What the fuck was I speaking about? Storyline. Oh. Now, here's where it gets really kind of intertwined with the DLC segment. First and foremost, the storylines that continue on are mostly good, except for Shale. First and foremost, Shale is the biggest brocephalus you will ever get in this game. The heaviest hitter, the best defender. I had that bitch lined up. But when you go do the DLC, you realize it's a 5-minute throwaway, and that it seems like they kind of cut it out of the vanilla game. Thank you, EA. We really needed that. This is exactly what we're talking about EA's bullshit fucking practices.
With justice and
oh yeah, and by the way, cutscene for each fucking type of
empire.
Obviously cut the Shale story right out of the fucking vanilla and then sold it as a DLC. Wasn't it also like day 1? There's some day 1 DLC bullshit too?
I think so.
Yeah, suffice to say, EA really screwed the pooch on that one. That's because EA sucks. We have said this before, every good game player and game reviewer out there has said the same thing, and that's because they suck. Now with that stated, Leliana's song damn near made me cry. Leilani, you learn about, and some of you may know her as the bisexual, good-hearted, good-natured Chantry assassin, courtier, Cordon, whatever the fuck it is. And she's like French. She's from Orlais. Which is basically a city, a state, a country, whatever, made of French people. And she's so fucking adorable, though. She's like so fucking adorable. And then you go through Leilani's song and you see the betrayal that led her to the Chantry, and it's like, it broke my heart, man. But then you got, now when it comes, let's just go to the DLC, because once again, it revolves strongly around storyline. So then you got that, Golems of Amgarok was a forgettable one, I didn't really care about it. But then you got the one where you have to go to the Grey Tower, or the Grey Citadel, and you delve the history of the Grey Wardens.
Yeah,
and it's
Warden's Keep.
Warden's Keep, yeah, this is after you become the commander of the Grey Wardens in Ferelden, where you are here. And then you got Warden's Keep, which you go with a newbie, and if I remember correctly, I still had my super-powered suit and weapons from the vanilla, so it was badass. It was fun. It was great! And it was a great game. It was so fucking tough. You had to deal with motherfuckers. You had to get motherfuckers to come to your war. It was like literally you're building up the Grey Keep. The Grey Keep. You're building it up with merchants and blacksmiths, and you have to defend it against onslaught of Darkspawn, and then you go into the storyline of what's going on. But one of the best storylines. One of the best things in the DLCs
Good.
I've left out. Two of them. One is Witch Hunt. It is the continuation of going after Morgan, whether she gives birth to your baby or Alistair's. For the record, even if you don't wifey her, she will still try to sleep with you to get you to get that god baby going on in her. Basically, spoiler alert, one of the truly last Grey Wardens, outside of Duncan, there's one more badass who was like in Orlais, I think, and he basically rushed his shit as fast as he could once he heard about the betrayal. Like I said, Grey Wardens ain't nothing to fuck with. The moment he did, he shows up, and it took him like forever to get there towards the end, but he gets there, and he backs you up thoroughly. And it's one of those things where, well, one of us can die, I'm going to try and get on it, I need you two to really fucking do it. But if I can do the last, he thoroughly takes the last blow. He wants to. He, spoiler alert, sadly enough, dies. So it's either you or Alistair. I almost always choose Alistair, not because I don't want to, or want to be a hero, or a martyr, but because of Witch Hunt, believe it or not. For me, storyline-wise. Call me OCD, call me autismal, I don't give a fuck. Call me obsessive about stories. But I honestly believe that the Grey Warden, even if they're not the ones who sired the god baby with Morgan, should still go after Morgan. And in Witch Hunt, you get that chance. And even worse, you come across, spoiler alerts, I say that a lot, intelligent, talking Darkspawn. I don't mean normally. I mean one of them sounds like fucking Tim Curry, completely rational, makes sense. And then you got the other one who's one of the Darkspawn mothers, the brood mothers.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Only a token force.
So suffice to say, that shit's kicking. And you can choose to kill both. I think I killed both. Because you do not fuck with Mouse Atreides, the Grey Warden commander of Ferelden. And that should tell you something about how deep you can get into your character with this game.
Yeah.
So, and then there's the let's blow some steam and fuck niggas up. The Darkspawn Chronicles. Yeah, I've never felt so good to be bad. You play as a fucking, I think, one of the Herlock Vanguards. You play as a semi-high guy. He can basically take control of other Darkspawn and roar battle cries, and if one dies, you can jack another Darkspawn into your party. You even have a Darkspawn dog. And there's a joke in this that when you first come across Dog, Alistair names him Barkspawn or whatever, suggests that you should call him Barkspawn. I mean, obviously you're not going to bring your character over to the Darkspawn Chronicles, but he's called Barkspawn there. Darkspawn Chronicles is basically what happens if your character never joined the Grey Wardens. I think, in fact, if your character dies, then Alistair has to take the lead, and he doesn't. He can't, because you're the fucking Herlock Vanguard that kills him. And the very last scene is of Alistair looking up going, no, from the ground after getting his ass kicked, and you're standing over him with an axe, just, and just, BAM! And it cuts right to the demon god, the dragon, roaring into the skies towards the camera. It is the greatest moment of evil you have ever felt in this game. It is so fucking visceral. You kill your party. It is so fucking visceral. Oh, it's so good. Oh shit, 33 minutes.
Well, let's go ahead and cut to the break. By the time when we come back from the break, we'll hopefully finally be getting into some actual gameplay so that we can get more in depth as far as the actual systems of the gameplay itself.
Because it is sumptuous. It is fucking sumptuous. Plus, I think I've touched upon the storyline enough.
Yeah. And maybe by then, I'll actually have a little bit more input, because I'm mostly focusing... Well, it's not even your fault. I'm mostly focusing on playing through the game and just trying to get that, I guess you could say, get that muscle memory back.
Trust me, you never lost it, bro. When we return, right back after these messages.
We'll catch you on the other side, guys.